Two high schooler best friends, Gary and Wyatt, are admiring the girls working out in the school gym, and fantasizing about throwing a huge party, and inviting cheerleaders Deb and Hilly, before their jock boyfriends, Iron Man, and Max, bring them back to reality, and Dee pants them in front of the entire gym. Wyatt's parents are out of town for the weekend and both boys decide to have a sleepover and watch Frankenstein. Gary then gets an idea, he wants to make an actual girl. Wyatt thinks that he is crazy for wanting to dig up dead girls, but Gary tells him that they can simulate a girl on the computer. Both boys then begin the process, but realizing they need more power, Wyatt hacks into the government system and they begin to design their perfect girl, feeding the computer with as much information as they can. They then hook up electrodes to an actual doll, and wearing bras for ceremonial purposes as they claim, they begin the simulation. Clothes and sparks are sent everywhere, we even see a dog standing on the ceiling of a neighboring apartment. After they throw out the computer, the sparks die down and the doll is transformed into a beautiful woman. Both boys first decide to have a shower with her, which I think is illegal in at least 24 states, before she says that she wants to go out and have fun. Turns out this woman has reality warping powers, as she conjures up suits for the boys and a Cadillac. When she asks for a name, Gary decides to name her Lisa, after a girl that kicked him in the nuts. They end up at a bar in town and Lisa conjures up 2 fake IDs so they can get in and mingle. After breaking multiple laws smoking and drinking, they return home drunk where they encounter Wyatt's bully brother Chet, who extorts money from him to not tell their parents while Lisa hides. He brings Gary to his room and then goes out on the balcony calling for Lisa. She appears and they begin to make out. She tells him to stop being so tense, and I think I hear the cops coming. It is then assumed that they actually did it. The next day, the boys are at the mall with Lisa while she is shopping for underwear for Wyatt. Both Iron Man and Max then pour ices on their heads in front of the entire mall. Iron Man and Max then spot Lisa and follow her, only to see her get into a car she made for Gary. Lisa then invites the bullies over to a party at Wyatt's house before they drive off. Lisa then convinces the unwilling Wyatt into having the party, then she heads over to Gary's house. Gary's parents are rightfully skeptical about this mature woman who has come to take out their son to a party, but Lisa threatens them with a fake gun before wiping their memories, making them forget they had a son. They then host a huge party with food, singing and dancing, and Iron Man and Max turn up with Deb and Hilly. The party has spun out of control while Gary and Wyatt take refuge in the bathroom as Wyatt is having an upset stomach. Hilly and Deb then join them in the bathroom where they introduce themselves. Meanwhile, Iron Man and Max are trying to convince Lisa to get with them but she insists that she belongs to Wyatt and Gary. Iron Man and Max then apologize to Gary and Wyatt about the icy, and they beg Wyatt to let them borrow Lisa, but the boys turn them down. They try to trade off Deb and Hilly for Lisa before Gary lets them in on the truth. Wyatt, Gary, Iron Man and Max then try to create a girl for themselves, which sends the party into chaos, as furniture and people end up being thrown around. The experiment has failed and Lisa turns up and chastises them for trying to impress their bullies. She also explains that they forgot to connect the doll. Thus, with the bare electrodes resting on a magazine page showing a ballistic missile, a real missile appears, crashing through the house. Wyatt's grandparents then turn up at the party and try to drive everyone out and once again try to call the police on Lisa, who end up freezing them in time and locking them in a closet. She then decides that the boys need a challenge to get them excited, so she decides to have some mutant bikers crash the party, sending everyone into a frenzy. The bikers then kidnap Deb and Hilly, forcing Wyatt and Gary to step up and defend the girls, forcing the bikers to release them and leave, using a gun Gary thought was fake. Deb and Hilly love this and Deb begs Wyatt for a kiss, while Gary and Hilly make out. The next morning, Chet discovers the house in disarray, including a snowstorm in his room, and the missile in the other. He finds Gary in bed with Hilly, then finds Wyatt in bed with Deb before trying to find out what the hell is going on. Lisa then tells Gary and Max to take the girls home while she talks to Chet alone. Both Gary and Wyatt end up with both cheerleaders. At the house, Lisa transforms Chet into a green blob, and force him to promise to apologize to Gary and Wyatt when they return. Returning to the house, the boys discover Chet. He apologizes to Wyatt for his behavior. Upstairs, Lisa assures them that Chet will soon return to normal, and, realizing that her purpose is complete, hugs both Gary and Wyatt before dematerializing. As she leaves, the house is magically cleaned and everything transformed back to normal, including Chet. Wyatt's parents return home, completely unaware that anything odd has happened. Later at Gary and Wyatt's high school, Lisa turns up as the new gym teacher, thus continuing her mission to look out for the two boys. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you can watch more movies like this. Thanks for watching.